Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded for women and women entrepreneurs, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, and relationships with mind mastery and meditation tools and techniques so that you can live the life that you're proud of. Welcome to today's podcast. Welcome, ladies. I hope that today's episode finds you confident and empowered. I'm just going to throw a couple different emotions out there because that's fun for me, because these are the things that I want my podcast to deliver to you. Confidence and empowerment today. And if you are feeling anything less than that, then I hope today, and it is my intention that today's episode gives you one little nugget of inspiration that leads to your transformation. Welcome to today's episode, where we are going to be more addressing the women entrepreneur in today's episode, but really anybody who is wanting to affect the lives of others. So it could be the mother who wants to be the role model for her kids. It could be a school teacher for her classroom. It could be a manager or a project leader. But I'm going to gear it towards kind of business. So I am 48 years old currently while I'm recording this video. It is the end of 2020. And at this point in my life, I have had 37 different jobs. And what that told me was 37 things I didn't want to do and 37 people I didn't want to work for. What I kept trying to find, what I really wanted was, of course, more money. But I also wanted to be happy in the contribution that I was making at the job. But what I was finding out is that the relationships were really quite terrible. The bosses were bossy, or they didn't build a relationship with me, and I just became a number. I just became a robot who was supposed to do this task and serve this customer and clean this thing and sell this thing and organize this thing. Right? I just became this nothingness. I just became this person who was like a slave. And the more I experienced that emotion and that feeling of being at a place of work, in a job, the angrier I became. And I'm like, there's got to be a different way. There's got to be another way to do this. Well, 37 jobs later, during that time, I figured that's the problem of the organization. Because you might have a job where your boss does not treat you that way, that you have a relationship with that person and they understand the importance of building relationships. And if you understand the importance of building relationships with your kids, with your staff, with your coworkers, then you understand the power behind creating a business. So what I was trying to do is creating this self-employment space. I'm going to go out and clean houses. I'm going to go out and I'm trying to think of, I was going to build a rock climbing wall. Then I became, now fast forward, there was a couple other stupid jobs that I tried to create for myself, like anything that would be like self-employment. But then I became a personal trainer, and then I became a boot camp instructor. And then if you watched, I would say watch, if you listened to yesterday's podcast, then you know that how I became a public speaker. And I started to really, really enjoy my time and money freedom. Because ultimately, that's what I wanted, was freedom. I want freedom from the alarm clock. I want freedom from doing jobs that I didn't want to do. I wanted freedom to travel, freedom to sleep in. I wanted freedom to purchase the things and fix the things that I needed to without the stress. That was my ultimate goal. And when I had these jobs, like here's this example, I worked in a small retail place that I really, really liked. But if you work in retail or you have worked in retail before, it is very, very laborious. And it is very labor intensive, which I believe laborious means the same thing, I think. But I kind of like the word laborious. All right, side note. But it's very physically demanding on your body. So I loved this environment. I loved the managers. I loved that it was small. I really enjoyed working there. But one thing kept happening two things kept happening that made me move on from this space. One was that they kept putting me on the register. And I'm like, I would rather do recovery, which is out in the store where you're straightening the shelves and organizing and cleaning up messes if there are any. And you just go through the whole entire store. And I could go through the whole perimeter of the store in like a 4 to 6 hour shift because I was just that good at it. And the one thing about me as a person, even though I'm a true entrepreneur, is that when I am an employee, I'm honest, I'm dependable, I'm loyal, I'm dedicated. But if there's not the appreciation, then I have a really hard time wanting to stay there. So I've started jobs where they're like, wow, like you're really like on fire. You can do this thing really fast and you're really good at it. And we really like you. And there's all these compliments and there's all this like accolades and you're really a good worker and we're really glad you hired and you're really good at this and thank you so much and all that stuff. And it feels really good. And employers or managers, it's free to give a compliment. It's free. And actually it pays you back to give a compliment, because if I don't receive those things, I generally quit. Now you have to go through the process, exerting time and any energy and money to put an ad out to hire someone to replace me, right? So it actually is a bonus and a benefit and saves you money and time and energy. And all you have to say is thank you. There are so many bosses and managers and project leaders that don't use those famous words. If you guys ever read The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, it is an absolute win. If you are working with anybody and you have employees and you, you want to inspire and you want to motivate them, read that book. Now, a lot of people think the 5 love languages is all about, your intimate relationships. Well, that's part of it, but it's all about relationships and it's all about people needing different things to feel important. But when they feel important, now here's the power behind relationships. If that person feels important to you, they will do anything for you. They will clean the toilet, sweep the floor, stand on their little rubber mat at the cash register all day long to do anything for you because you make them feel important. So if you have relationships in your life, I suggest, highly, highly suggest, and I will put the link for the Amazon book in the description, is The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. And it's an absolute perfect read. You will gain so much knowledge from that book. And if you begin to implement those tools and understanding what your kids' love languages, what your spouse's love languages, but your employees, your coworkers, and you talk to them through their love language. Oh my gosh, you guys, you are going to have putty in your hands as far as your environment goes. I'm not kidding. That was an absolute game changer for me. However, that is not the book I'm talking about today. Well, it is the book I'm talking about today because I just talked about it. But so what I wanted was ultimate freedom, because I love, love, love staying up late at night. And what I hate is that then somewhere at, 10 o'clock, I'm like, I got to get up at 5:30 or I got to get up at 6 o'clock to be to this place that I don't really like and they don't really appreciate me. And so now Krabby Patty has to put herself to bed so I get enough sleep. And I'd just be so crabby, right? But if I could stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning working on things or hanging out, or, I used to paint, I used to draw, I used to do all these fun things, man, I'd just go for a walk or something. But if I have to put myself to bed early to go to a place that I don't like, now I'm just building up all this resentment, which led me to having 37 jobs. Like, how did I even have enough time to have 37 jobs? But wanting that kind of freedom, what I really wanted was like to be appreciated and to feel important. And as soon as I stop feeling that, my eyes start to open for other locations. But what I ended up realizing is I have to appreciate me, because if I'm constantly looking outward and trying to get other people to appreciate me or to thank me or to show me appreciation in other ways, if I had to spend all that time and energy to do that or to get recognized, then I'm doing myself a disservice. What I need to do is to appreciate the skills that I have and give myself self-praise. Now, women that are listening to this are going, oh gosh, no, I can't give myself a compliment or whatever. And I bet, you know what? I'm going to challenge you to this exercise today. I want you to get out a clean sheet of paper or a journal, and I want you to write at the top of the page the things I love about myself. And I want you to go through all the physical things you love, all the skills, all the knowledge, the way you talk, the way you laugh, your smile, your eyes, the way you friggin', I don't know, you get the mail every time you come home because then you don't have to walk out there, the way you feed the dog, the love you share for your kids, your laugh when it's something really funny, or the way your hair falls, or I don't care, but fill up the pages of all of the things that you love about yourself. Because, the nice thing about self-praise, and I'm not going to be one where I'm ever going to say, don't praise yourself because it's, egotistical. Self-praise has no agenda. If I look at myself and go, gosh, Jen, you really know how to organize a room. There's no agenda there. What I'm not doing is spouting it off to the world like, oh, I'm just so great at this, or I'm so wonderful at that, or whatever. That's where you're stroking your own ego. But what you're doing when you're in that ego space is you're trying to get other people to respond to what you're saying. I'm number one at this. But if I just am in the room and I'm looking at something and I organize it and I just go, nice job. Like that looks really nice. What am I doing? There's no ego there. There's nobody even in the house while the dogs are in the house. So sorry for that pause. I was just getting a drink of tea. But what I'm suggesting is that you spend some time thinking about yourself and how good you are at certain things. Okay, so that's you. Now, if I talk about you as an entrepreneur or a businesswoman, and you have a business, you have employees, you have coworkers, or if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you don't have coworkers, but you have your team, your project leaders, people that you work with. What you want to do is you want to show appreciation for the things that they do. Okay? Well, I came across this book. And and love language is going to help. Before I move on to that other thing, I've got a dog jumping at me right now, trying to get in my lap. So one second. Okay. So taking care of the dogs. I'm just going to stand up to stop her because she's wanting to get in my lap, but then she distracts me. Okay. So now picture an inner circle that you're standing in. That is you. That is everything about you, your business, your thoughts, your beliefs, your personality, your everything. Okay. The circle outside of you is all of the people that you affect. So this could be your kids, your employees, your coworkers, whatever. And as you change you and this inner circle, this person that is inside there, as you change and transform, the outer circle changes and transforms. So if you listen to a couple podcasts ago where I talk about, I was hanging out with this group of friends and they were very negative. Now, if you picture this circle, that outside, that part of me must have been negative in order to attract this group of friends and to stay with this group of friends for a long time. However, I decided I didn't want that outer circle of influence. I didn't want that circle around me anymore. It was affecting me, negatively affecting me, my mood. And eventually, if you know anything about energy and how energy works, is that however you are, it goes out into the world. So if I'm more negative, it negatively affects my experience, but it also starts, if it goes on long enough, starts to affect my physical being. I start getting sick. I start feeling terrible physically. You get pains, aches, sickness, nerves. I mean, it leads to all of dis-ease, right? If you continue to think negatively. Okay. So now what I did is inside that inner circle is I made the decision to start changing. I made the decision that it's time for me to transform because I can't change them. That is not my job. That's not my job, is to have all this output where I'm just going to change that person and this person and my coworkers they suck. And so I'm just going to barrel down on them, or my girlfriend at the time is stupid and she's cheating on me. And so I'm going to force her to change. I need to change. I need to change me. So this book was one of the foundations that I stood on for a really long time and really focused on to make sure that I was staying in control of me, that I'm the only person that I can control. Now, I can influence other people, but it's still up to them how far that influence goes. The book that I want to talk about today is by Dan Sullivan and Catherine Nomura. I'm not sure I'm saying her name right, but it's called The Laws of Lifetime Growth. The Laws of Lifetime Growth. And it's an older-ish book. I've had this for a long, long time. And but it really started me on the path of my entrepreneurship journey in moving forward and building relationships, but before building the relationships is building the relationship with me, because I'm at the core of this circle. So if I don't like myself, then how can I expect other people to like me? Now, as I'm moving into this entrepreneurial position, I'm going to need a team. I'm going to need people. Eventually, I'm going to have staff, right? And I need to be a really, really good person. Now, this is my opinion, but I need to be a really good person and have these skills. Now, some of these skills came naturally. You know, like I love to show appreciation for what people are doing, but that didn't come naturally as in I was born with it. It came naturally in my journey because I was a part of all of these different jobs where those bosses did not show appreciation, or their appreciation was very short-lived. And they continued to kind of treat me like I'm just a number. I'm just a robot here to serve them and their customer. What they don't understand is I'm the person between them and their customer. So I should be treated like the frickin' queen, right? Because if you treat me well, I'm going to treat your customer well. If you make me feel important, I'm going to do anything for you. And that means I'm going to clean, I'm going to organize, I'm going to go above and beyond to provide value to you because you're making me feel so important. Managers and employers completely miss this. Maybe not all of them, but in my 37 jobs, a lot of them, 98% of them. And you can't keep pushing and pushing and pushing. We are not robots. We're not slaves. We will turn on you if we're continued to be treated poorly. We'll steal from you. We will not clean the toilet how we're supposed to. We're not going to treat the customer well. The customer could be standing 3 feet from me and I will not say hi if I do not feel important. So if you are a manager, if you are an owner of a business and you have staff that are treating you poorly, your number one job is to build that relationship with them. Ask them how their weekend was. Ask them, do you even know their kids' names? Do you know anything about them? Find something in common and build on that. Build on that. So, all right, here's this book. I want to talk about 2 things that are in this book, The Laws of Lifetime Growth. The very first thing, this is part of the introduction, is initially just having the desire to grow. If you have the desire to grow, the universe will put every book and blog and video and course in front of you to fulfill that desire. Okay? If you're in a relationship that sucks, if you're in a job that sucks, don't try to change the job, and don't take yourself and continue to just go job to job to job without changing you first. Have you ever seen somebody who does that? Now, in my 37 jobs, I would say probably 36 of them was job to job, and every single one of them had the same outcome, had the same results. And you've heard the phrase, you can take the kid out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the kid or the boy or whatever. And well, that's what that means. I'm me, and I am an attractor, and I am attracting the things in my life based on my beliefs and my experience and my thought processes. And if I am negative and I don't appreciate myself, remember self-praise, if I don't appreciate myself, well, then what am I doing? I am attracting people who also don't appreciate me. Like attracts like. That's a common law of attraction. Like attracts like. If I'm negative, I'm attracting other negative people. I use the number scale to explain this. So if you picture a vertical scale from 1 to 10, if I'm a 4 in my mood and my thoughts and my beliefs about the life or world or whatever, then I can only attract other 4 type things, situations, and people. If I'm an 8, then I no longer attract 4s. I attract 7, 8, and 9s because it's all close. So like attracts like. So what I'm saying is if you have something in your life that is like, man, if I could just get rid of this one thing, if I could just mow this down, if I could just lose this weight, if I could just get rid of this employee, or if I could just make this money, whatever your thing is, it starts with you. It starts with your desire for growth, your desire for change. I had to change myself in order to not be in this relationship anymore that was detrimental to my health and my emotional well-being. I had to change myself in order to stop with all the job hopping and settle down into a career that I'm passionate about. And that it doesn't matter that right now doing these podcasts, I'm not making any money at this moment from these podcasts. But man, I tell you, I am happy. I'm in alignment with my goal. I am talking about things that I am over the moon passionate about. So the desire to change, the desire to grow, to change, to transform, that's the very first thing. And if you're an entrepreneur, I encourage you and implore you to create that desire in yourself, that obsession. I want to change. I want to grow. I want to be the best employer that these people have ever seen. I want to keep them, if they're good and they'll do things for me and I'll make them feel important and they'll do good work and they'll take care of my customers and my space and my business and my product, well, then I need to take care of them. I need to pay them well. I need to give them bonuses. I need to emotionally take care of them. Wish them well when they're sick. Well, how hard is that? I would call in sick and my boss would get mad at me. I'm like, well, I don't understand why you're getting pissed off. I'm sick. Or I broke my leg playing hockey and then my boss at the gym got all kinds of bent out of shape because I didn't come in the next day. Okay. So make your employees and your staff, make them feel important. They're human. They deserve your attention. They deserve to feel important. And if you can't give them that, then give it to yourself. Fill your own tank so then you can fill their tank. In the other chapter, the other law that's in this book is, and this is, I just mentioned it a second ago, law number 9 is always make your purpose greater than your money. So right now, as I'm recording this podcast, standing in my living room, the dogs are pacing through the house, wanting to go OUT. I can't say it out loud because it creates chaos. I am so beside myself delivering to the future listeners of this episode. I am happy. I'm ecstatic. I have goosebumps. I get these chills and excitement but I'm not making money. This is where my purpose is greater than my money. This is where I get to talk about the thing that I'm in love with, that I get to share with my future listeners. And you could be listening to this. Now, this could be 3 years from now, 2023. You could be listening to this. Maybe you've never heard of me. You've never given me a dime, but yet I'm here for you. And that is my purpose. My purpose is to make an impact on women and women entrepreneurs all around to help them with their personal development so that they can live a life that they're proud of. Are you joking? I am absolutely in alignment with that. I want to help you. I want you to understand fully. If you're in a relationship, I know I keep going to relationships because I have so many clients that are in these crappy, abusive, lonely, depressing, anxiety-ridden relationships that I'm here for you. You are not alone. I was there. I was in those kind of crappy relationships and I'm not anymore. I couldn't be any happier. I couldn't be any happier that I am doing this for me because I'm in alignment. This is my purpose. This is my destiny. But I'm also doing it for Amy. I'm also doing it so I can share other experiences, so we could be free, so we could go places and travel and buy things and have all these new and fun adventures together. Well, it takes money. A lot of times it takes money to do that. You want to go to Italy, it's going to take you, a couple $1,000s, right? And then I have 3 boys that I want to give back to. And I have my parents and my brother and his wife I want to give back to. And then there's you. And I'm here for you. I'm here. I'm standing right here in my living room with my cup of tea, recording this on my phone with my headphones, watching the dogs jump around the house, and I'm here for you. You are not alone. And I keep saying that, and I just want you to understand. And if you have a purpose as well, and how do you find that purpose? We're going to have other episodes about this too. But how do you find your purpose? I hear so many times where people are like, I'm just in this marriage, I'm in this relationship, I'm with my ex again, and he's cheating on me, and he's, I caught him here and I caught him there, and he won't stop, but I just love him. No, you sure don't. I'm going to stay with him for the kids. What are you giving your kids when you do that? They know something is wrong. They know dad's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. And you're teaching your daughters that it's okay to do that. That it's okay to be with a man who does that to the relationship. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a passion and you have your desire, I suggest you stand back and you look at your whole vision of your business and you look at every working piece, and that includes your staff, and you say, what do I want my staff to be like? How do I want them to serve me? How do I want my business to serve others? What do I have to do? What do I have to do to provide that? Who do I have to become to provide that to my staff? If I make them feel important, wow, what would they do for me? How would my business grow? So making your passion more bigger, making your passion bigger than your money, making your purpose greater than your money. And I'm telling you right now, I've known my purpose and my passion for a very long time. I just didn't know how to get into the market. And now I know how to get into the market. And working with my mentor, I know how to get into the market, and I'm well on my way. I have no doubt that this time next year, I'm going to have the business that I want, and we're going to be ready for the next step. And recording these podcasts and reaching out to you is just part of the process. So I encourage you to take the challenge, to stand back, look at your business, look at you and all these working parts and say, what is the big vision? Like, dig down deeper. What does it look like? What does it sound like? Who is it serving? How am I supposed to be? What are my clients or my customers or my patients, whatever your business is, how do I want them to be receiving my information or my product? And then how do I want my employees or my staff to be sharing that product? How do I want them to be taking care of my business and my customer? And then what does that look like? And then the very last question, which is the most important, is you at the core of this. Who do I have to become? Who do I have to become? Can you hear the dogs? 1 second. There's probably plenty of times you're going to be hearing dogs in the background. I got to take them OUT. Okay. So who do I have to become now to make this happen? Because you're at the core. And then remember, the outer circle is all of your people, your business, your customers, your patients. So you are the center of that. And then you then use your skills, your knowledge, and you propel your way outward. So I hope this finds you well. I look forward to speaking with you and hopefully inspiring you for transformation in the next episode. Thanks for listening, and if you liked this episode, please take the time to like and share. Also, please visit me on my other social media pages. I'm on Instagram, Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. I'm on Facebook, where we have this community titled Life Mastery Decoded, and it's a community of women and women entrepreneurs where we come together to support one another in sharing our successes and struggles. You can also check out my YouTube channel, where I share my teachings and my personal journey, and it's simply titled Jen Mack, JenMac. Have a great day, and I hope to hear from you.